Hello. Thought I would try making another fantasy challenge video. It's game week 32 now, so game week 31 has just gone. Still finding it quite interesting. Got a few things to say. So I did alright. Game week 31, 96 points, top 10%. It was kind of what I was planning for, hoping for. It was like I just wanted to get a solid showing this game week. I didn't take too many punts, but in future I think I probably will. One of my decisions was whether to go for Saliba or Palmer, and I was thinking if I'm doing this block defence thing and they've all got, that's like I've got to treat that like a guaranteed 6 points, because if it comes through you're fine, but if it doesn't you're game over anyway. So treat that like a 6 points, and then it's like a question of do I want to stick on 6 or hope that Palmer gets more. And I just decided I'd stick with 6 for now, but in future I think I should punt, and obviously if I had, that would have put me into the top 1% if I'd gone for Palmer. But I think you've got to punt more in general. But that's pretty good. I mean, Salah let the side down, of all people, against Sheffield United. But that's it's one of the nature of this game is it's very lottery-like. It's always going to be very lottery-like. I mean, not entirely. So far, the last two winners have all been... There's a relatively templatey side. I mean, Rodrigo, Gibbs, White, maybe a little bit punty. But some of these picks of the winners have been relatively template. Salah, Palmer, Son. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a feel for the game at the moment. So block defences I still like, and then just relatively punty picks. And then there's this kind of this way of using the vice captain and the auto subs to get a little bit of advantage, extra rolls of the dice if you can do that properly. I think that's the way to go at the moment. The winner from this game week didn't do the block defence. It's actually really interesting to see the difference between the winners of game week 30 and game week 31. If the winner of game week 31 had done the block defence, he would have got one more point. So I still think the block defence is a good idea, but maybe it's more expensive. The Arsenal block defence might have been more expensive, but and there are other things to think about. But it goes to show you the lottery nature of it. And so the winner of game week 31, it looks like he or she is just a total casual, didn't even interact with the team throughout the game week. Haaland, Saka on the bench, could have sold Haaland and got a load of money and upgraded some other players and things like this, but just left it as it is and nailed it. Like, he's just pure lottery, hit the nail on the head, got it. Foden, Palmer, didn't even have Garnacho, but had Gibbs White, good enough. Rodrigo. Yeah, so it's a little bit lottery-like. I like that it's not totally lottery. It's not just a lottery though, because you can pick. You're close. You can kind of imagine getting it. And obviously I was close, like 96, and if I'd gone for Palmer, it would have been like 109, and you're closing in a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah, so that's interesting. Whereas the game week 30 winner, block defence, took advantage of the vice captain trick. Probably did some other auto subs as well to get Isaac's points, I'd imagine. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. Yep. So next game week 32, red rivalry. Man United and Liverpool players get double points. This is the way I got my team set up at the moment, but I've just had an idea recently, and I might change this. But the other thing that's interesting about game week 30 winner, he didn't even have 3 forwards either. So even though they scored double, you don't necessarily have to get 3 forwards. I mean, Darwin got 12, didn't he? So it's the same as Rodrigo. But so this game week, there's a question of, so how many Man United and Liverpool players do you want to bring in? This is what I've got at the moment. So I think one question you have to ask is, do you think either side will keep a clean sheet? And I think you almost have to guess the result and just assume that will happen and punt on that result, because you can't spread your bets. You can't put a couple of defenders in and try to catch a little bit. It's do you think they'll get a clean sheet or not? And I'm thinking no, neither Liverpool or Man United will get a clean sheet, and therefore I'm not going for any Man United or Liverpool defence, because I think this is going to be a bunch of fours. I mean, there might be some assists from Bradley or something like that, but then if you don't think it's going to be a clean sheet and you pick Bradley, you're picking Bradley over because you think he's going to get a return more likely than Diaz or Salah or somebody like that. Is that what you're thinking, or I suppose you can, but pardon me. So I'm not going for the Man United or Liverpool defence. You could. Oh, sorry, I always burp when I start talking on these videos. You could go for Man United or Liverpool defence, because if it does come through, you'd win big because they get 12 points each. So that could be a fun punt. But I'm just assuming they won't, and so that's my bet. So I'm not going to do it. But there is a sense of like I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. So that's what I'm betting on. But there is a sense of the strategy of how you want to play it affects what you're going to punt on. Because like some of the things I've started thinking now is, instead of going for Arsenal defence, because I thought they were going to get the most chance of getting a clean sheet as Arsenal, but actually it'd be more convenient for me if Chelsea or Spurs get the clean sheet, because I can put them after the Man United Liverpool game, which means I could fill my bench with Man United and Liverpool players, and then if they do well, I can then remove some of my Tottenham and Chelsea players and bring on my Man United Liverpool players, and if they don't do well, I'll just go for Man United, go for Chelsea and Spurs. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do, just to kind of try and game the system and max my odds of, because the Man United Liverpool players have the highest high and low. If you do catch a return, you could have a really monster haul there, especially if somebody scores twice. If somebody scores once, that's a brace. If somebody scores twice, that's 4 goals. It's doubling. So I might actually go for a Chelsea or Tottenham defence now, even though I think Arsenal have the best chance of a clean sheet. It's just more convenient for me if Chelsea or Spurs get it. Is that the right logic, or should I just go for Arsenal because I think they've got the best chance of a clean sheet? I don't know. One of the first questions you need to ask is like, who do you think is going to get the clean sheet, and then go for the block defence if you want to do that. Arsenal's block defence is quite expensive as well. I've got this model I use, and it's not very good, user friendly to be showing, but Arsenal are top, Liverpool second for game week 32, Bournemouth are third best chance of a clean sheet apparently, but then it's Chelsea and then it's Spurs. So Chelsea and Spurs last 6 game weeks, XGA, Spurs have been alright, 6th 1.16, and Chelsea at average not quite as good, 1.43. So could go for Spurs. Nottingham Forest XG is pretty average. Sheffield United is right down the bottom though, so they've probably both got pretty good chances of clean sheets. Spurs and Chelsea pretty comparable. So I might go for a Spurs or Chelsea clean sheet and just bank on that, and then put a load of Man United and Liverpool players on the bench if I can get them arranged. Problem is, if I put like a Man United player there, like Højlund there and Garnacho there, if Højlund does well and Garnacho doesn't, I can't get Højlund on without getting Garnacho on as well. So I might have to arrange them properly. I might have to arrange them, because this is why it's better to have them staggered in different games. Then you can kind of wait and see, because if like Solanke does well, then I can actually just get rid of Garnacho, bring Solanke on. Depends on the order and the way you do it and stuff. I could go double defence and then a forward. I'll have a think. Anyway, so I might do something like that. But I mean, like Son, Palmer, Salah is all good. I've got no Man City, no Haaland. I would like to have had Haaland. I think he's a good shot for this game week, but I don't have the money. So no Haaland. But that's the way the team's going at the moment. Vice captain on somebody after the vice. Salah's got to be the main captain choice. Double points. So that's that. I just had a couple other things I want to say. One thing I noticed is that the price changes do actually affect this. So for instance, I've got no money in the bank in this team. The price change is actually going up. So if any of these prices go up, and then I try to build my team again tomorrow, I think I'd be out of I wouldn't be able to afford it. So it's worth getting your team set up, and if there's any players who you might want who are going up in price, get them in your team earlier, sooner rather than later, because you might might lose money there, and it might be the opposite if a player's going down. Get them out of your team, so that you don't, or you'll transfer them out and then back in again or something. I don't know. So there's that. Another thing is, I noticed this on, if you go to your profile, they've got your history, and so it is going to show you your history. So some people might not care that much about winning it. They might actually like to just get a really nice rank history. So maybe winning it isn't everything. I still want to win it. And so because of that, I think my rank is going to be, it's not going to look very good, because I'm always going to go for like these block defenses, which is just going to sink or swim my team each game week. If Sheffield United or Nottingham Forest score a goal, that's my game week done. I mean, I feel a bit weird going for Spurs defence. They're not that good, are they? Although they've been doing better, but and Nottingham Forest need a win. Chelsea defence, oh yeah, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about that one. So there's that, and then what was the other thing I was going to say? And then the future game weeks. So game week 33 that has been announced now. It's called the sportsmanship one. So red cards get -8 points, yellow cards get -5 points, which I think is interesting. I've a couple of people moaning about it on Twitter, but I don't mind it. I think it'll be fun. It's not like the most imaginative thing in the world, but it's still interesting. I think it adds more to the lottery element of the game, because you can't really predict the yellows and reds. There's some players who are a bit hot-headed and more prone for yellow cards, but you can't really predict it, so it just adds to the lottery. I'm probably just going to pick my team as I normally would and hope for the best. Maybe avoid players like Palmer, Darwin, any players who quite like a yellow. Maybe avoid the West Ham Fulham game. That's a derby, isn't it? Could get feisty. But yep. So yeah, it's just a lottery, and so that's that. And then game week 34 will be interesting what they do there. I wonder whether they'll give like single game week teams will get double points or something to kind of even the field. Could be interesting, but I don't know. We'll see what they do there. I'm enjoying it though. I think that's all I want to say for now, so I will leave it there. Okay, bye bye.